Now let's talk about the feedback and the key findings related to the baseline program. The key findings are as follows. Clean State Creeks and Natural Flood Protection Special Parcel Tax funding will sunset in year 2016, and that is a significant funding source for the program. After fiscal year 2016, other revenue sources cannot sustain the current levels of service that we have been enjoying since 2001 when the program came into effect. And the most significant impact will be on projects and programs funded by the Special Parcel Tax. That includes Flood Protection Capital Program, environmental enhancements, impaired water bodies, and trails and open space. So this baseline program is essentially the program that will be able to continue after 2016, the program that is sustainable after 2016, after the Clean State Creeks funding runs out. And what does it take for a program or a project to be part of the baseline program? Well, it's an activity that meets the minimum requirements of the District Act and other legal, regulatory, or contractual requirements. It's an activity that will reduce or eliminate either high risk or moderate risk, and also activities that will maintain the current level of service or invest in efficiencies with payback within 5 years, so 5 years or less payback. Here's the revenue and expenditures for the program for the proposed planning horizon. So on the vertical axis here, you see the expenditures and revenues in millions of dollars. And on the horizontal axis, you see the planning horizon, the 25 years. The blue line represents the expenditures, and the green line is the revenues. And what is significant to note here is that around 2016, there is a drop in revenues of $52 million that year. That signifies the end of Clean State Creeks. And then after that point, the baseline program that I described kicks in. So I will have a reduced level of service. And I'm going to go into what that means in each of the 5 goals that we talked about. Now for goal number 1, Natural Flood Protection Capital Improvement, these are all programs, projects, flood control projects, flood protection projects that are included in the existing capital improvement program. Some of them are highlighted in blue. That means that those projects are projects that were either funded for planning, design, and even partial construction in some cases, but they haven't been funded for construction. So those would be some good candidates to continue in the next planning horizon. Now I wanted to highlight these 2 points here. The first one is that approximately 146,000 parcels have been protected since the program began, have been taken out of the floodplain. But still we have work to be done. So we have approximately 55,000 parcels that are still subject to flooding and remain in the floodplain. And I wanted to point out that this activity that we have here is through 2016. So this activity will not continue after 2016. So that's one of the impacts of the baseline analysis. Now another part of goal number 1 is preserving the flood conveyance capacity of the stream. So having capacity so the water can flow through. And what we have in these slides is a description of what the current program provides, okay, with Clean State Creeks funding, and then what the baseline program will provide in the future. And we have highlighted those areas where there will be some reductions. So in the current program, you see that we do some sediment removal of the streams. We work in stream capacity vegetation work. We do levee maintenance. There is routine maintenance taking place, and there is facility conditions inspection. So these are some examples of what we have in the existing program. Those activities will continue for the most part in the baseline program, with the exception of the first one. So the sediment removal aspect will be reduced about 10%. That's the portion that is paid for currently by Clean State Creeks. Now in goal number 2, reduce potential for flood damages, you see all these activities are currently part of the baseline program. They're not being paid by Clean State Creeks. So therefore all these program elements in the current program will be funded after 2016. They are part of the baseline program, all of them. So that you won't see an impact in this goal.